Matt Blues, your source for all things Everton, and Jay Pallinson, and I'm here today to do player ratings from last night's Merseyside derby draw with Liverpool. An absolutely great night at Goodison, full of anger and angst and frustration and happiness and rivalry and dislike and just everything the derby should be. I think Stephen Mann at the start of the game was like an 80s match in terms of players at each other's throats, game lacked quality at times. It was all about trying to get in second balls and also trying to get the ball in the back of the net. I didn't find either side to be particularly threatening. I thought Everton put Liverpool on the back foot more than they did, but obviously they've just got a lot more quality than us, and that's kind of something I've been discussing all day, really. They've got a lot more quality than us, and yet we hung in there and we got a really good and well-deserved point. It's very, very funny because obviously 2-3 minutes to go, they're all singing that they've won the league at Goodison, obviously only in the middle of February, which is a bit bizarre in its own right. They've won the league at Goodison, they've won more games than us at Goodison and derbies, and then when we equalise, they're saying that we're celebrating too much. So yeah, answers on a postcard please, but yeah, delighted with the result, and I thought the team played really well. In terms of the actual 11, John Pickford had put him down for 7.5. He only had 2 saves to make. Made a good one from Szoboszlai in the first half. Second one from Salah, I actually thought looked better when I watched it back at the time. I thought it was a bit of a camera one. It seemed a bit pointless, but I think it's actually a decent save, good power on the shots. And yeah, nothing he could have really done for either goal. They both weren't great from our perspective, but I didn't really feel like he was to blame for either. Jake O'Brien, I gave him an 8. I thought he was very good. Hilarious how he just went up front the last 5 minutes. Obviously Ash Young came on. I thought Ash Young was going to play centre mid. That's what it looked like the players are suggesting, but I think he ended up moving right mid, and then within 5 minutes of coming on, O'Brien was up front, so we'll come back to that. But I thought he defended largely very well up against Diaz. Doesn't stick his foot in for the second goal, but obviously at the end of the day, if he goes down to get a penalty, they probably score that anyway, don't they? So no real issues there. Next in, James Tarkowski, gave him a 9. I thought he was absolutely brilliant, and for someone who was so poor on the weekend, this is the sort of thing that I think I've kind of been talking about with Everton for a number of years. When a player has a poor game, you're never just going to write them off. You're never going to say, oh, they should never play for us again because they've had a bad match. And then for years, players will come out and said, we'll try more, it's my fault, all this stuff. He's not said a word after the game, from what I could see. I didn't see any quotes from him or anything saying he played poorly, and obviously he was definitely at fault for the second goal, and he gives away the penalty for the first. So, and he didn't have a great game all around. Didn't say anything, just got on with it. Played really well yesterday and scored an absolute worldie. So, delighted with him. Really, really pleased. I thought he was very good. I've given Jared Branthwaite an 8.5 next, and thought he was absolutely exemplary. Great assist. I know, so I got Jared Branthwaite down for a 9. I thought he was very good. Gets the assist for the first goal. Absolutely brilliant thinking there to play Beto in. I wonder whether that was something he spotted, whether it's something they worked on in training. I imagine it'll be something they've spotted. Maybe Liverpool switch off from deep free kicks, or obviously everyone's expecting the big ball into the box. But when I saw him taking it, I was thinking, why on earth is Jared Branthwaite taking this? Because obviously you look back at the goals from last year, and obviously it's Pickford or it's McNeil, obviously who isn't playing, or Harrison, James Garner now, obviously back on the side. To see Branthwaite taking, I was very surprised. Obviously he just meant left-footed, he could curl it in. It's a great pass. And but other than that, he was just a Rolls Royce. He was absolutely brilliant, and I thought them two, him and Tarkowski, were just exemplary. Vitaly Mykolenko, given him an 8 as well, as obviously they were full back. I thought he had a good game, some good quality from him, worked hard, great celebration for the goal, hooked the ball in for the equaliser. I think he's been improved since Moyes come in. I still think we can definitely improve in that area and certainly give him some competition, but I thought he did well yesterday, so pleased for him. Just Gay obviously went off after, 75 minutes, and obviously got booked in the first half, which really restrained him. I always find he's as you will be, but he's much, much better when he's not been booked. Hilarious him going around and putting a few hard ones in on Szoboszlai after he seemingly injured and died. Obviously, we've seen the replays now and stuff, but yeah, I thought he had a good game, giving him an 8. James Garner, I thought he was good. Obviously, again, went off in the second half, but worked hard, got us up the pitch when he could. A couple of big tackles in there as well, a couple of poor dives as well, to be fair, but all's fair and love more, giving him an 8 as well. Out on the right, Jesper Lindstrom. Perspiration, not much inspiration. That's kind of how I'd define Jesper Lindstrom time at Everton, to be fair. Another game without a goal. He's like getting towards 70 games now, which is obviously really tricky for him. He needs to get that sorted ASAP. But obviously this is the kind of game where, you know, we needed someone to put some fight in. I thought he did that. I thought he did okay. Obviously, again, he went off as well. But yeah, give him a 7.5. Thought he was all right. Decore, really poor ball for the goal. Obviously, a little bit happens after that, and dives in where maybe he shouldn't. We're leaving a free man in the box as well. But also, if he doesn't get the ball away and just plays a square ball to just again, rather than trying to get us up the pitch again, then we don't concede that goal. And if we'd gone on for another 5 minutes, I think Liverpool would have started getting a bit frustrated, and maybe we could have got back on the front foot. Liverpool put us under a lot of pressure after we scored, but yeah, to give them a sloppy goal like that's disappointing. But other than that, I thought he worked super hard. I thought there was a 10-minute period in the second half where he was really, really good. His header, I've not seen it back. Looks like an okay chance. Don't think it was gilt-edged or anything like that. And then the shot he has is poor in the second half. Should be at least testing the goalie, but he works super hard. You know, going out to Liverpool fans at the end is just heroic stuff. And his celebrations after the game were great as well. Obviously, he's had a lot of abuse online and stuff, which is obviously shocking. And obviously, hopefully, he's not too badly affected by it. He's been posting some funny stuff today. So, yeah, I'm a big fan of Decore, and I thought he worked super, super hard yesterday. And he'll always have my respect as an Everton player, giving him an 8.5. Even Dye obviously went off. He looked good before that, but yeah, unfortunately, hopefully it's not too bad. But it was just one of them where as soon as he went down, you thought it probably wasn't going to be great. And then when obviously he's on the floor for, it must have been 3 or 4 minutes. It certainly felt like hitting the ground. And then he goes down again. And, you know, it's bad. But yeah, give him a 7 because he didn't play too much. Beto worked so hard. That was his best game in an Everton shirt. I think even better than he was the other week when he scored 2 goals. He worked really, really hard. He kept going. Kanate had him in his back pocket at times. He didn't let it get him down. And then what I love about the goal is that he gives Kanate a big shove. And if the referee had blown up for that, I would have had no issue. I don't think it's a foul, but I'd have no problem with him blowing off that because it is off the ball, it is physical. He's no eyes on the ball from Beto. I wouldn't mind it. But he let them go all game. Kanate had him all over, and so did Van Dijk when he went over to his side. So he let them go all game. So, and I've seen a lot of Liverpool fans very unhappy with that. But as I say, Kanate was doing it all game. Very lucky to go over with the ball hitting his hand. I don't think it was a penalty personally, but I also think we've seen them given. So, yeah, Beto worked really hard. Going to give him a 9. Took his goal really well too. Super pleased for him because I was really unsure about him, but he's coming good at the minute. So, really pleased with him. Excellent stuff there. Subs, Jack Harrison came on, worked hard, but like in Lindstrom really, perspiration, not much inspiration, getting shouted at by a few players as well for whether it be poor balls, silly passes he was making, but again, kept going to the last, and obviously has an involvement in the goal, but yeah, one of his best performances this season, as was last week to be fair, against Bournemouth when he came on, so yeah, he's a player we may need to rely on for the next couple of weeks, if Ndai is to be out injured. So yeah, giving him a 7.5. Thought he was all right, and then the rest of the subs came on, didn't do too much bar Timmer Abunam. Gonna give him an 8 as well for the flick on for the goal. Just yeah, really good. I did see a funny tweet where someone said a lot of our players would try and score from that header, and he's right. You can just picture it, can't you, where Gladys Street's up thinking something's gonna happen, the ball bounces and some fella just tries to like take his neck off and throw his head at it, you know, which is just never going to happen. He's never going to get anywhere near enough power, and he'd probably just knock it straight into the goalie's hands. But intelligent little flick on, and then obviously Tarkowski absolutely slams it into the net. So yeah, super pleased with that result. And I think just as a closing thought, something I've been saying all day, but at the end of the day, if we pick this conversation up in 30 years, 2055, and Liverpool have not won a trophy, they've been to one final, you know, at a time now where they get like one a season, don't they really? Had what, 5-6 relegation battles. Had an owner who actually did not try and destroy them, but actually was taking them to destruction. Not just an owner who doesn't spend 70-80 million pound on players. You know, had genuine threats of going bust. Had a new ground that was maybe going to kind of ruin them. So many issues, and I say the very real prospect of another owner coming in and absolutely ruining Everton like 777 could well have done. They'd gone through all that, and then they had their last ever Anfield derby, they would have absolutely done exactly what we did last night. And don't let anyone tell you any difference, because it's just nonsense. But yeah, we all know it happens. It happens every time that they don't win a derby, doesn't it? So here we are. Great result for the Toffees last night. 10 points clear of safety now, and let's just hope we can get a couple more wins and we can just glide into the new ground, and brighter days are ahead. Let me know your thoughts down below on the game. Who was your man of the match? Who are your best players? And we'll see you next time. Nice one.